What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology. The Titans action spawning in the left side of the map in the red color, playing as Zeus. His name is Gold Lion, and he is from the team F2. I actually can't remember what F2 stands for. If someone in the chat can let me know, then I will explain it. Otherwise, we will just call them F2. His partners today in the blue color, playing as Uranus. His name is GMs. GMs. And then finally, in the bottom side of the map, playing as Hades. Mr. Clean himself, it is Squash. More about this in the future. Their opponents today are from the clan GDM, Gladiators of Mythology. Gladiators Del Mythology. Apparently it's Fade 2. F2 is Fade 2. There you go. Whatever that means. It is what it is. We've got Gladiators of Mythology here. Sparks in the purple color, playing as Kronos in the sky blue color, playing as Gaia. His name is Peen. Let's just not go there. And finally, in the yellow color, playing as Uranus, his name is Zokyo. Very exciting matchup here. These clans are both some of the more veteran clans in Age of Mythology. GDM and F2 have been around for a while. F2 is kind of a amalgamation of TSM as well. So if you then take F2 and link their lineage with TSM, it goes way back to like very early Age of Mythology. So we do have one of the most veteran clans here in F2, and we're going to see exactly how this all goes on here. As let's talk just a little bit about this. In terms of player rankings for team games, there's a couple of players that do sit at the very top echelon of team games, and Squash is 100% one of them. And when you combine Squash with Player, who is also a top echelon Age of Mythology player, you will see some pretty crazy shenanigans. But unfortunately, F2, they don't get Player in this game. In the group stages, oftentimes teams will run with slightly weaker team compositions or players in their team, just out of the fact that this is a fun tournament. And it's not really about just running your best players. It's about letting everyone have a go and having some fun playing some crazy team games in like the highest competitive setting possible. So we'll see how things are going to go. GDM over here, mostly I don't really know these players. I've seen a lot of Sparks before, a pretty strong player. He's playing his Kronos. He's also going to get access to the Gaia Forest here to help him out as well in the early stages of the game. So he's going to have a lot of early pressure that he can put onto his opponent. Now, unfortunately for Sparks, he is up against Squash on the side, on the flank, which isn't necessarily 100% a bad thing, but it does mean that things can be a little bit awkward here for the Kronos, because he's not going to want to actually attack Squash. He's going to want to attack, say, the Uranus over here, or attack the Zeus over here. One of those two wouldn't be a bad idea. As we do see Prometheus, Athena, Prometheus coming through. Everything is on the way. Squash having a little bit of trouble here in the early game, not finding the pigs, it would seem here, as he's still producing these final villagers, eating this boar kind of from afar over here. He's moving over onto the storehouse. A little bit of a problem here in the early game for Squash. He's actually only gotten himself 6 or 7 fishing ships, 8 fishing ships out now. You do want to go up to 9 fishing ships generally if you're going for a 4:30, and Squash went for a 5 minutes, so that's going to be a little bit tough as we do see the temple time shifting in. Does Squash see this or not? Squash does see this. A little bit of a greedy temple placement here. Squash going to be ready for this one. He's going to do whatever he needs to. He's going up through Athena. We see Athena coming through for Gold Lion over here. Prometheus over on this position. We do see the Oracles are in position for GMs, but I'm not sure if he's 100% going to want to go for this early attack. Maybe more of a fake here wouldn't be a bad idea, as we do see the Gaia Oracles over here getting taken out. But it looks like we are going to see him go for it. And this is going to be advantage Zokyo here, because he's going to get himself a hero citizen to boot here. As Jams is probably just going to retreat back home now after all is said and done. So we do see the Oracles and the Promethean coming in onto this position. We see the docks getting thrown up here for Squash. There is potentially going to be deconstructions available for Sparks in the near moments here. You can go after this location. We do see Gold Lion coming in over here, going to start helping out on this position as we got the Bareems coming in onto this one. We got the Bareems retreating away. We'll see how this is all going to go as the Minotaur on this position getting taken out over here. We see the deconstruction coming down, but the dock is already up over here, and I don't think this one's going to fall here as Squash does manage to start getting some boats out. He's only got one, though, as the Ajax is through, going to be enough to push these units away, and now Gold Lion is in helping defend. Sparks is here, but where is Pain? Pain needs to get in here with his Gaia. Her Gaia? I'm not exactly sure how to approach that one there. But Zokyo over here now going to be going after GMs. GM's going to be doing his best to market this one. We got 8 Bareems versus 10 Bareems. Oftentimes, the best way to play Mediterranean in the mirror matchups is to just play defense and allow your opponent to misstep here. As we do see the Carnivora coming in, but an immediate bolt coming through by Gold Lion here as Sparks and Pain trying to push forward, but they just don't have the numbers just yet here. Even after all is said and done, Gold Lion too strong. We've got the Caladria in the back, going to be healing up these boats as best as he can. The Servant coming in as well for Pain, going to be helping out in the middle of this fight. Only has 300 HP, but that's a big help in these fights. He doesn't do a whole lot of damage at like 6 damage per second or whatever it is. But the boat's still fighting forward, and I don't think these Atlantean players are going to quite get away with this one here, as those Greek ships are just that much stronger. Meanwhile, nothing all too much going on over here, as we do see the crazy pressure going to be starting to be exerted by Squash now. He gets himself out the early Chiron, going to be putting pressure over onto this gold mine here. Watchtowers has been resurged by Sparks, but it's just not far. It's not in a good enough position. These Citizen here, they need to. It's straight, just not in a good enough position. If Squash just sits here on passive stance, he's going to be able to launch arrows at the Citizen for days, stay outside the range of the Watchtower, and going to be completely fine here. And Sparks is going to have to figure out where else to go. He can move backwards, I guess, as we do see a Valor coming through. The Oracle's going to be able to help out a little bit over here as Sparks is doing his best to defend. We do have the Gaia ships trying their best to take out these Greek ships. Look at that micro by Squash, pulling those Sparks Bareems back immediately here, and there's the restoration coming through for Squash as he pushes in, going to take out the fishing ship. There is another restoration remaining here for Team F2 as well in Gold Lion's restoration, so things are looking very, very difficult here for GDM in this one. Even though the score's currently favoring them, there's still one more restoration, and there's no retreating going to be happening here just yet. Now we're seeing GM pushing in really, really hard over here onto Zokyo, who's doing his best to defend. A second restoration coming through here for F2 as the boat's going to continue to take this fight. Lots of low HP GDM boats, but look at this. A second town center is up already for Pain as the Squash Chiron coming in, being very, very annoying. We do see the Carnivora getting placed down over here by GDM, but it's not in a good enough position as F2 just calmly retreats back here as these boats going at it. How's that Chiron doing? We do see the Oracle coming through, going to get taken down. The Chiron's going to be able to go after this gold mine. There's no problems over here at all, as we also see Squash unearthed the infamous Ring of Nibelung, which provides a steady income of gold. I did accidentally ruin my Age Mythology recently and haven't installed Ipit's Advanced Tooltips. So I'm going to have to do that. But now you get a good description of what's going on. Happy days. Not exactly, but anyways, onwards and upwards. We see the boats now starting to get completely cleaned up over here by F2. I'm interested to see when the second town centers are going to start coming down for F2 in this game, because Pain, he's got 2 town centers already, which is a big, big boost to his economy. So he might actually be able to continue spamming boats and defend Sparks a little bit. But look at that micro there from Gold Line, completely pulling Pain's boats back into the into the Zeus ships there. Beautiful play there. Meanwhile, GM's still putting pressure over here, and it looks like he has mostly been able to clean up Zokyo here with his superior micro in the mirror matchup. And Zokyo is now very, very far behind. As we do see over here, the Promethean going to be coming in here, going to be taking this fight. We see Zokyo over here on this gold mine as well. And it looks like with the help of the Promethean, this is going to be a fairly easy win here for GMs, as we see the Citizen getting pulled off of this location, going to start shanking away, as maybe Zokyo is going to be okay here, but still the fight continuing on this position as F2 is slowly but surely getting further and further ahead in this game, as Pain is going to be retreating away. We see GMs retreating away over here. Zokyo looking to try and chase him down just a little bit, as it seems like he's somewhat recovered here in a way. Now, generally speaking, when you get an advantage on water, the best way to translate that advantage is to get yourself a second town center. As we see, Sparks is getting a second town center now. Now Squash is getting a second town center. Goldline is getting a second town center, but GM's a little bit behind the 8-ball here. He needs to stop producing boats, which he has, not produce military units, which he kind of is. He's getting himself Momillo here. Maybe he's looking to go to the heroic age or something and apply some real pressure here in this game. We'll see how things are going to go as Payne over here is getting pushed back. Payne's going to need to get himself up to a third town center now as soon as he possibly can. And really, the question is going to be, what can this Atlantean composition that GDM have constructed do in the mid-game to late game against the Greeks here? There is no ceasefire, so vortexes are going to be really, really strong. We do have to remember that Kronos and Gaia have got some of the strongest late games in the game, so they can go toe-to-toe with the Greeks if they utilize their advantages well enough. So we'll see if that's going to be a thing. And then beyond all of that, what can F2 do to finish this game off? Well, they're going to have access 100%, I would say, to Apollo. They go through Apollo. They've got 2 Apollos. That's 2 Underworlds. That's 2 ridiculously difficult things to defend against. But if there's Vortex, then that's going to be able to get dealt with easily. So they have to hit that timing nicely way before the Vortexes come in. So we'll see if that's what's going to happen here, as the GM's Bareem coming up onto this position, going to be taking out these docks, finishing everything else up. Are we seeing some extra fishing ships through here? I'm always interested in whether players actually do this or not. It looks like there's not really. There's a couple coming through for Gold Lion. GM's not really doing anything. He's getting himself his second town center over here. Is the term going to be coming through for Zokyo? Zokyo getting himself his own second town center. He's going up 3 military buildings here, and armory coming down as well. Gaia flood control coming through for Pain over here as well. Tons of farms in on that position there, as the military building is getting thrown up on this position here, as Squash wants to grab this town center. He's got the units over here. Sparks trying to put some pressure on at this point, but it looks like with the help of Gold Lion, Squash is going to be completely fine, and grabbing the side town centers is everything in these team game Mediterraneans. And Zokyo knows this to some degree. He's actually finding himself a slight advantage here because he's got his forward second town center and he's securing GM's second town center. So GM's in a bit of a problem here, as while GM's has got a slight economic lead in this game due to the fishing ships, Zokyo doesn't care. He's got himself the current ballista. He's got himself sitting here in a good position, and GM's has to pull back. So we see a powers coming up. So we do have GM's in the next age, which is going to give him access to the Stymphalian bird, which should actually allow him to push forward here, as well as those what's it called? Dryads that can come out of the Hesperids trait. So that should be enough here for GM's to push through, but it's still going to be a tough one for him. And we'll see how things are going to go. Town Center is up now for Squash, taking things slowly. Bite of the Shark guy, Shaft Mine guy, Carpenter's coming in. As Bean has actually got himself down 2 economic guilds to get out these economic upgrades as fast as he can. His economy is going to be absolutely gigantic in this game, as Squash and Gold Lion sitting back here, seeing what they can do. As Zokyo is going to be pulling back here just a little bit. GM's here with his units ready to take a little bit of fight. He does have the Contarius starting to come out, and that will be able to deal with those Caraballister nicely here. But, I mean, maybe GMs will just think about going straight to the Mythic Age off of 2 town centers here instead of going for his third. Hit a really, really early Vortex onto Peen, as Peen is, like, obviously really far forward. And his back town, or his main town center can get taken down. But Zokyo now going through Thea himself, not going too far in front on the town centers or anything like that. As Zokyo pushing through on this position over here. We've got the Lantian units all sitting back here, waiting for the fight to be launched. As the Heroic Age now coming through for Gold Lion. Gold Lion here, he's got himself a handful of hoplites. He's got a lot of military buildings now coming down, and that's going to be a really, really big thing for Gold Lion to use, like an Underworld over here or something like that. Underworld, you don't really want to Underworld the Gaia because of the Gaia Lush. You want to Underworld something that doesn't have Gaia Lush there. And if you're actually playing Gaia in these team games, and you got to be aware of this, so go around to all your partners' town centers and spread Gaia Lush. Just do it. Like, it's worth it. Just do it. Like, abuse that Gaia Lush. It's broken. But town center now coming down for GMs. Zokyo not going there. We see Rhea coming through for Peen here as Aphrodite coming through for Squash. He's deciding, no, I don't need an Apollo. I need to make sure I can defend this. And Helios is now coming through for Zokyo really, really early. The problem with this is that this is mostly just Terma. If I was Zokyo here, I would be either sending these Terma in immediately to try and pick off units and just trade them as best as I can, or simply just deleting them to get these destroyers out so my Vortex can hit hard. As we see GMs clicking up through I've forgotten what that, Hecate. But Hecate's not going to be that useful against the Vortex, because Vortex is just going to be able to teleport in and kill that there. As we do see the hoplites here from Gold Lion coming in onto this position. He uses the Underworld Passage here, and he comes in. He's going to take down 2 Citizen over on this position, as the units are going to immediately start pushing through, trying to take the Underworld Passage down, as Squash needs to attempt to defend this one. He drops the Curse here, as the Underworld Passage is getting completely collapsed onto here. We see the Sentinels getting dropped down by Squash as he's trying his hardest to hold in. There's a trader there onto the Manticore, going to take out, look at that massive amount of damage there onto Squash's Toxotes, as the Underworld Passage is going to be taken out. Gold Lion does manage to come back here, but that's a dead Underworld Passage. Absolutely huge. The town center does get denied, but it's not game over for Zokyo. It gives a little bit of an advantage over to GMs, but Peen and Zokyo push forward, get that damage done, and they are pulling back now. We see Masons coming through, Rhea coming through as well for Sparks. As he's maybe thinking, maybe I can get one of those Vortex plus Trader Heliopolite plays here in this game. Could be an idea for him here, going through Rhea, not going through Hyperion in this situation. We see the heavy Murmillo coming through for Peen. Now, you have to remember that Gaia's got a crazy amount of economy right now. She is going to give so many upgrades and bonuses over to Peen in this game. Now, the other thing you have to realize is Gold Lion right now, he's got a lot of archer ships here. We see the Townsend are now going to be coming up over here. It seems like Zokyo has defended here nicely. There's the Tartarian gate here, and a very simple Vortex going to come in immediately, take this one down. Does GM have any sort of preparation here? He's got a handful of destroyers, so we will be able to kill off this palace, but this Tartarian gate is going to be going down fast. The Heck of Gigantes is here. Big shockwave, though. That's going to help out a lot over there for GMs, as it looks like Gold Lion and Squash are relatively holding over here. We're starting to see there's the Heliopoli. We've got a chance here. It does get traded as the fortress is going to get taken down, but that's immediately going to go down. I want to see a Vortex with villagers in it. I'm so sad. Anyways, we will be seeing that going down relatively fast. You see Mal of Orichalcos also coming through for Peen to help out those medium Arcus here against any sort of pressure. As we see the Behemoth coming in, there is a Chiron here though, so it's going to get extra damage done. Meanwhile, the town center over here, well, the palace does go down. A handful of Citizen going down as well, as Zokyo feeling the pressure here. Do we see some sort of extra Vortex? Not just yet. Artemis coming through for Squash though, as the pressure is still mounting. No Mythic Age coming through for these Atlantean players on the bottom side of the map, as they're putting everything in to this pressure. They're thinking we got to finish the game now, not later. As the Toxoid is there. Look at that Squash. I don't think he did that on purpose. He tried to move forward his Toxoides or something to stop attacking any of those forward units, but it just doesn't work that well. As the Behemoth now starting to move through. We've got so many Behemoth in on this position. 1, 2, 3, 4 Behemoth. They're going to be able to start taking down this town center incredibly fast. We see the Jason getting sniped down. The Chiron gets trained out over here. That's going to help out a little bit, but the Ajax a little bit slow here as the Behemoth continuing to motor forward here. But the problem is GMs has got that little bit of pressure, of momentum right now, as he's able to start taking down these buildings, pushing forward. Zokyo pushed off this gold mine. He does have back gold mines over here that he can jump onto, but that's a problem he's going to have to deal with as the town center is getting closer and closer to getting taken down. We see the Colossus in here for gold line. There's the Mythic Age through for Squash, as an Earthquake getting dropped down onto this position to help GMs out even more, taking down this town center as he's got all of the momentum right now. Zoko in a terrible position, as GMs is going to be able to grab this town center, grab this Hesperus tree, live the dream in this position, and now Squash just needs to somehow defend this position over here. But while this is going on, look at this side build coming through for Gold Line. He must have used the Underworld passage at some point here to drop villages through before it was taken out, as there's no real... It looks like there's no real... Oh, there is a transport ship actually here for Gold Line, so maybe he moved that over there as a fortress, getting dropped down on this position to try and take out Zokyo, as Zokyo is in full panic mode, trying to rebuild all of his buildings that have been taken out. At this point, Squash is just trying to die as slowly as he possibly can, but funnily enough, while this is all going on, Squash is actually still top score for his team, even after losing his town center and losing a ton of buildings, getting himself champion. Toxotes here, Sparks and Peen trying to push forward as best as they can. We do have a whole bunch of military buildings over here, but this is now going to be heavy Myrmidons coming through with full bronze against almost fully bronzed up Gaia units, but doesn't quite have it just yet, as more palace are going to be getting dropped down. We've got more Fortress coming down for Gold Line, though. He's also going to get a Temple up to get Colossus through here to start pushing in onto this position. We are seeing Fire Siphon coming through for Zokyo. Now, Fire Siphon are actually a good counter to Fire Siphon, funnily enough, because they've got a little bit of range and they can kill them down from afar. But at this point, Zokyo has got no units remaining, and what looked to be a really good push over here is just not moving fast enough, as it just looks to me that Zokyo is the one who is going to be falling just that little bit too quickly, and Zokyo in that moment does decide that the game is lost, with Gold Lion on his doorstep over here, GM's on his doorstep over here, just not enough room to help remaining, and in that moment Payne says, yep, it's time to tap out. GG, well played by F2. Very nice try here, though, from GDM. They almost pushed through here and took this game. What happened up here for Zokyo, though? He was in a really good spot, a great spot against GMs, and I think that maybe it was an overreaction to Vortex over onto that Tartarian gate. That was potentially the problem here. There's a couple of ways to deal with Tartarian Gate. He's got himself the Hecagigantes, which will be able to take it down by himself. He's got himself the Stymphalian Bird, which will be able to take down a Tartarian Gate by himself. But the other thing that he could have done was garrison units over here that are the Pierce units to stay here and defend, and then Vortex over here instead of bringing his entire army to kill off the Tartarian Gate. And then if he doesn't lose this forward palace on this town center, I feel like GM's push here is null and void, and then we can start seeing Vortexes being used all over the map to start helping out the bottom two players over here with Sparks and Peen. But just didn't happen, unfortunately. One little mistake here from Zokyo allows the room for GMs and Squash to push forward with like a little bit of extra help with that Earthquake to speed things along. I mean, obviously, Squash could have used Earthquake over here to maybe claim his Town Center back, but he saw the game-ending Earthquake there. And that's the game. If you guys enjoyed this one, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button. And I'll see you guys in the next game.